Sekou Nkrumah here, just to give some background on what AFRICOM actually is. And Sekou Nkrumah writes, "It is clear through AFRICOM that Obama is planning to turn Africa into a war zone by using international state terrorism to crush any movement by the people to take control of their resources in Africa and distribute them equitably to the African working masses. This is the same type of terrorism that Obama and the US Satan, will bring to Ghana. By 2015, America plans on getting 50% of its oil from Africa. The Bush administration and Obama has continued this policy, which defines African oil as a strategic national interest." Can you imagine the cheek of that? They're defining African oil as their strategic national interest. I continue. This poor policy has caused amongst capitalists Africa's status to go up in U.S. national policy and military affairs. That is, that U.S. Satan is prepared to go to war over Africa's resources in the interest of their national security. The inference is that taking Africa's oil in the interest of U.S. Satan's national security is more important than Africa's resources being used to provide food, clothing, housing, education, and healthcare for Africa's own citizenry. There are over 25 different U.S. Satan military programs organized throughout Africa, which are now combined under AFRICOM. It is established under the Pentagon with direct access to the Secretary of Defense, a fiend by the name of Robert Gates, and Joint Chiefs of Staff, another fiend by the names of Mike Mullen, which centralizes the entire operation but causes the militarization of Africa and as a result carries out terrorism on the continent. The military programs set Ghana up for Obama's terroristic activities are, and we've got 8 examples here. I'll go through the 8 examples that Sekou Nkrumah shares. He says, 1. Africa Contingency Operations Training and Assistance Program, also known as ACOTA. This is a program designed to engage in police operations against unarmed civilians and conventional military operations against the military and other countries. 2. International Military Education Training Program, IMET. It brings Ghanaian military officers to military academies in U.S. Satan for training. 3. USS Fort McHenry Port of Call to train Ghanaian forces in port and oil platform security. 4. Base access agreements for cooperative security locations and forward operation sites. The U.S. Satan has gained access to Ghana's military bases and other facilities as operating bases for combat, surveillance, and other military operations. 5. Africa Center for Strategic Studies. This indoctrinates the Ghanaian military officers. It is the notorious School of the Americas for Africa. 6. Foreign Military Sales Program. The U.S. Satan government provides loans to Ghana to purchase equipment through Foreign Military Financing Program, FMF. If Ghana carries out U.S. Satan foreign policy in the country, the U.S. Satan waives the loan. 7. Gulf of Guinea Initiative, U.S. Satan Navy Partnership Program Security. This program trains African militaries in port and offshore oil security. 8. Exercise Reception Facility, ERF, established to facilitate troop deployment throughout the region. This facility is a direct result of U.S. Satan Ghana Fuel Hub Initiative. This facility is managed by US State military and located at Accra Air Force Base. Now, just reading on a little bit to give a bit more of a description, the ultimate proof that Obama is bringing international state terrorism to Ghana with AFRICOM is recorded from the presidential town hall meeting questionnaire in October 2007. Obama said that AFRICOM should serve to coordinate and synchronize our military activities with our strategic objectives in Africa. When he says our now, he's talking about US Satan. I'm quoting him, of course. And, the quote continues, there will be situations that require US Satan to work with its partners in Africa to fight terrorism with lethal force. Obama continued by saying, quote, having a unified command operating in Africa will facilitate this action. Thus, Obama, end quote, thus Obama will not hesitate to kill, terrorize, and bomb Africans in Ghana if people rise up and take control of their resources, which will be the threat to US state and national security interests that he's talking about. The Trojan horse is in place in Ghana, harboring the largest US Satan embassy in Africa. And every embassy is used as a CIA headquarters to provide information to destabilize governments if they refuse to carry out US Satan foreign policy. I'm going to stop there. There's a lot more to what he says, but that was just to give an indication of what the AFRICOM actually means. But I'm going to continue on for maybe about another 10 minutes just to set the scene, because there are more charges. Because we asked on this one, will he dismantle AFRICOM for the protection of his sisters and brothers on the motherland, Africa? We see no sign of that happening, and in fact his words tell us he's going to operate to the contrary. But there's another area of charge that we lay at the door of Barack Hussein Obama. And we ask the question, will he stop sending Africa's sons and daughters to die in Iraq and Afghanistan? This is a very serious question. I certainly hope that sisters and brothers are picking up the program on the net. We know, for instance, that 30,000 Ugandan troops were being trained in Buganda, which is one of the main provinces in Uganda. When I got this information some time ago and shared it on Galaxy some months ago now, I was under the impression that it was an invasion force to go and attack the Congo. It may well have been an invasion force for that purpose, but certainly we know now that something like 10,000 Ugandans are in Iraq. Some very, very serious developments on the front line in Iraq, dying instead of US Satan and British soldiers in Iraq. Now let me just read some of the evidence that we have here, to support this hypothesis. I'm reading from thousands of men and women. The title is Thousands of Men and Women from Poverty-Stricken Uganda Risk Their Lives for $600 a Day in Iraq. And as it reads here in this article, it says, as President Barack Obama announces plans to withdraw troops, US Satan troops, from Iraq, thousands of young Ugandans are increasingly desperate to be sent to the war-torn country. Already, the Ugandan government says that there are more than 10,000 men and women from this poverty-stricken East African nation working as private security guards in Iraq, hired out to multi-billion-dollar companies for hundreds of dollars a month. They risk their lives seeking fortunes, protecting US Satan army bases, airports, and oil firms. Iraq is the most privatized conflict in history. Since the invasion in 2003, the US Satan Department of Defense has doled out contracts worth an estimated $100 billion. Let me say that again, $100 billion to private firms. It is clear why the US Satan contractors come to Uganda. As an impoverished former British colony, the country is awash with unemployed and English-speaking potential recruits. Its pliant government, they're talking about the Museveni government now, its pliant government was an early member of President Bush's coalition of the willing. And they can charge they can pay $600 a day for a soldier from Uganda, and that compares with the $15,000 a day, which is paid apparently to the US Satan crack squad type, SAS type or SEALs type people.